Look, up in the air, it's a plane, it's a bird bike. So the Bird Company is in some financial trouble right now, and a year and a half ago, they came out with a bird bike that you could buy and own that helps you pedal, and it was a complete failure. So right now you can get one of these bird bikes for around $750 on eBay or Amazon. But is it a good deal or is it a swindle? We'll find out in this video. Here's a quick look at what you get on the bird bike. So first, there are Kenda Quick Drumlin tires on it, which are eBike rated 700 by 45C tires. So they are good tires, good quality tires, and they're puffy enough. I run them at 50 pounds of pressure, so there's a little bit of cushion there because there is no suspension on this bike. The front brake and rear brake are disc brakes that are mechanical, and there's no brand name on them. So you would kind of expect for a $2,000 originally priced bike that you would get hydraulic brakes, but you don't on this one. They sound like this. And there's a headlight up front. There is a throttle on the handlebar, so you can throttle or you can do pedal assist with this bike. There is a controller built into the handlebar. So the handlebar is just one unit with a controller built into it. So you better like the handlebar position because you're not going to be changing it. The seat is really nice. It actually absorbs a lot of the road shock. The Selly Royal seat is very comfortable. I really like it. There's a brake light / tail light in the back. There's a water bottle mount on the cage, and there's also some bolts on the frame where you could add a luggage rack on the back, and also up on the fork they've put some bolt holes in there so that you can mount a luggage rack on the front as well, so you can carry luggage with this thing when you commute. It is a Gates carbon fiber belt drive, single speed, kind of geared in beach cruiser style. I'll get into that later when we do the test drive, the pros and cons of the belt drive. But the pros of a belt drive is they're super long lasting and low maintenance. And in the back, there's a 500-watt Bafang hub motor, which is powered by a 36-volt, 12.4 amp-hour battery, which is a bigger battery than you get on a lot of similar style commuter bikes. So that's pretty good. There's the number on there if you want to go do more research on the Bafang motor and see what it can handle. There's a good look at that mechanical disc brake. Adjusting it's going to be a problem because you can't get to that back adjustment screw. So whenever you adjust your brakes, you're going to actually have to take the brake off, caliper off, and then put it back on after you've adjusted it, and then, you know, fine tweak it. So not ideal. Hydraulic would definitely be better in the rear situation. In the front, you could adjust it without having to do too much shenanigans. And you can see it's got big full fenders on the front and rear. That's a real advantage. And then you can see there's where you adjust the belt drive. There's screws in the frame where you slide it back and forth as the belt stretches with age. So let's take it on the road and just see what it's like to ride. But first we have to charge it up. The battery comes out with a key. You have to be really careful not to scratch the paint. The edges are sharp as a knife and the paint scratches easily, and it's a pretty tight fit, but it comes in and out just like that. You can also charge it when it's in the bike. I recommend that whenever possible. And it takes about 6 hours to charge. The charger is UL listed, and it is 110 degrees while it's charging, so I don't think it'll burn your house down. And it weighs in at 5 pounds, 15 ounces. And you can see it has screws on the end of it, which means you could probably open it up and rebuild it with Samsung cells, because you can guarantee you won't be able to buy a replacement battery when this company's out of business or this product is completely obsolete. But you probably can have somebody open it up and put new batteries in it someday in the future. This is the acceleration test on throttle only. So I am around 200 pounds and I'm maybe 10 feet above sea level. I'm on the bike path by the beach. So we're already at 11 miles an hour and counting. Creeping our way up to the top speed of 20. It stops helping you at 20 miles an hour. So when you hit 20, you are done. You see that last mile an hour is taking a lot longer than the first 10 miles an hour. But we're at 17. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. Bird, bird, bird. Well, a bird is a word. A ba bird, bird, bird. Almost there, almost there. And there's 20. So that's how fast it takes you to accelerate just using the throttle. And this bike has 5 levels of pedal assist. So we're going to put it in pedal assist 5 on the same flat road by the beach at roughly sea level. And I'm just going to hammer it with my legs and see just how fast it will accelerate if I'm giving it all the possible help I can give it. And I'm already at 20 miles an hour trying to go faster. You see how crazy fast my knees are going? That's part of the problem with the gearing of this bike. The European version comes with the 7-speed shifter with a single speed in the front. So you can see I got crazy legs going. And I've found that you can't really pedal much over maybe 17 miles an hour before it feels like you're going way too fast. And here at the end of the country, we're going to do a hill climbing test. So this is an extremely steep hill, and you can see by the angles of the cars and the buildings, this is a great place to test e-bikes because it's just one big long climb with no brakes all the way up to the city. So from a standing stop in throttle only mode, let's see what it can do up this hill. It's an exercise in keeping your balance. It technically is going up the hill, but it wants to do 1 mile an hour. And I found that if I weave back and forth, I can get it to creep up the hill with no help from me. But again, this is a pretty serious challenge. I think on normal, regular size hills, it's not going to be this bad, but that's really where I gave up. And then let's go back down to the bottom and see how it does on pedal assist. So I put it on pedal assist 5 here, and then I found that the pedal assist wasn't working, so I had to hit the throttle. That's another glitch with this bike. Sometimes the pedal assist just doesn't kick in. I'm going to see if I can fix that before the end of this video, but out of the box, that was a problem. There is a firmware update you can apply. And in this test, I'm not really pedaling as hard as I can. I'm just giving it a little help, trying to act like a semi-normal person would. You know, I'm sitting down, I'm not standing up, and I'm just giving it a little bit of help. And with a little bit of help, it'll definitely creep up the hill with no problems. So I think if you were buying this to get around town, to help you get up the hills and to not get too sweaty when you arrive at work. That's sort of what the use case of this. It's obviously not a racing motorcycle. And I'm in single digit speeds, but I'm creeping up this hill and I'm, you know, not really breaking a sweat either. I'm just helping it out a little bit. Here's a look at the pedal assist. You can see it kicks in at a quarter turn. So you turn it a quarter turn and then the motor starts operating. So that's pretty good engagement. It engages quick. And then going downhill, you can't really help it over 20 miles an hour because you're just spinning too fast. But on pure gravity, it'll get up to 30 miles an hour and beyond if this hill is really steep. It really reminds me of the electric city bikes that they have for rent around the city, only it's lighter, I think, and better handling, better looking. But basically, you know, it's good for getting around town at bicycle speeds, and it doesn't really want to help you go faster. Those city bikes actually top out at 15 miles an hour, so this one will do 20. But still, if you're pedaling and helping, you're not going to get much more over 17 or 18 miles an hour before you spin out of gear. And this bike has a weird intermittent clunk in the left pedal. I was afraid it was some kind of serious drivetrain issue that some people have reported on these bikes, but it ended up being this cheap, crappy pedals that they put on it. They really cheaped out on the pedals and they had grindy bearings. So once I replaced it with some real pedals, it's fine. The bike has Bluetooth that connects to an app that you can use to set a 120 decibel alarm in case people try to steal it. In addition to the alarm, because it says bird on it, people will think it's a rental and they probably will be less likely to try and steal it. So you got that going for you as well. The headlight is nice and bright and the taillight is bright as well. So I believe I will see where I'm going. People will see me, and from the front and back, I feel like I'm safe on this thing. Here's a look at me riding around at night. Sorry the video isn't better, but it definitely lights up the road in front of me. And battery consumption, when it gets down below 10%, the battery starts flashing and it helps you a lot less on pedal assist. So by the time I got home, I was at 33.7 miles with 7% left of the battery. That's with my torture test, all the hill climbing and high-speed runs that I did with this bike. So is the Bird bike right for you? Let's just go over it. The brakes are loud. I think you can fix that with new brake pads. I don't mind mechanical brakes at all, so that I don't really have a problem with them being mechanical, as long as they work fine. And they stop fine. I think just a different pad compound would fix that. The belt drive is maintenance-free. People have reported problems where they had to tighten up the sprocket in the back, that it was making noise, and that the belt was crooked, like whoever built it in the factory, the sprocket was crooked and they had to straighten it out to stop it from making terrible noises. I did not have either one of those problems. It was just quiet and smooth the entire time. So I think who this bike is for is somebody who's not trying to race everybody. You know, 36 volts isn't going to be as fast as 48. You're not going to do full throttle and impress anybody. So it's just going to kind of help you out, get you up the hills. And on the flats, you can go throttle only and get where you're going. So if you're a person who wants to go, you know, 15 to 20 miles an hour, but no faster than that, and you want to get places and not be all sweaty and maybe need a little help climbing hills, or if you want to get a little exercise and put on pedal assist, my range of 34 miles in the torture test was a pretty good indicator of how far you can go with this thing. So thumbs up or thumbs down, you got to decide if it's a ripoff or a good deal. Prices are going down on Amazon. I saw it for $6.99 today and falling. So I'll put a link in the description in case anybody wants one of these. I'm happy I bought it. I think I'm going to have a lot of fun with this and just use it to get around town in a stealthy way whenever I want to go somewhere, not get all sweaty and not worry too much about somebody stealing my bike.